right, so my name is Mordy Friedman. I represent WSPEC, which is the World Space Elevator Competitions. We're a global nonprofit organization on a mission to accelerate the creation of the space elevator. We're building a global movement around this purpose with the goal to push technology to its limits and continuously drive progress all around. So all of us over here know what a space elevator is, so I'm not going to get into the concept too much. You can check out ISEC's website for more information on the overall concept. But ultimately, a space elevator will allow us to go beyond rockets. It'll allow us to build a true Earth-space circular economy. Although rockets are very important, they can't scale. And at some point, we do need the rough, ugly infrastructure to build this circular economy. So we know the idea exists. We understand it makes sense. The question is, why don't we have one yet? And this comes down to the technology. At the end of the day, we need a lot of the technologies to develop further to get us to a space elevator, but they're just not at that point yet. And the thing about these technologies is many of them are constantly being developed independently and being pushed forward on their own. And they're fields that have direct benefits and benefit the world in so many ways. Things like remote infrastructure and energy, robotics, infrastructure, civil engineering, material science. Each of these fields need to develop further to get to the point of a space elevator, but and they are developing by themselves, but there's just nothing pushing it or directing it toward the goal of a space elevator at once. And that's where WSPEC comes in. Our role as an organization, we host global STEAM competitions for university teams and enthusiast teams from around the world to design, build, and test many of these core technologies, building the step-by-step advancement and driving it in a direction that leads to the eventual space elevator. We're a collaboration of the already established pioneers in the field, the VAR, which is a student space group at the TUM in Germany, JSEA, or Japan Space Elevator Association, promoting the space elevator in Japan, ISEC, the International Space Elevator Consortium, who's building the body of knowledge around the space elevator, Etheria, a private company working on the space elevator. So we all got together and created this next step for the space elevator to push this technology forward and give a reason for it to develop. And we do this through competitions for various reasons. There are many benefits to a competition model to develop these types of technologies with a long time scale, maybe multi-generational, and especially with so many unknowns at the moment. And one advantage that competitions have is it allows for parallel innovation. It allows us to see many different answers to the same questions. Instead of putting all our eggs in one basket and hoping for success, we get to see what works, what doesn't work, and ultimately it's the best way to find a breakthrough. It functions similar to venture capitalism, where you're investing in a field, you're investing in an entire area of research, and the best answer is the one that shines, and that'll be that unicorn and drive everything else forward. Another advantage that competitions have is the evolution process of it, the design evolution. Because it's a fair contest, it doesn't matter where an idea comes from. Ultimately, it gets tested in the real world, and then that can create this clear path forward for everyone else, right? If it comes from a big university or a small private team, it's about how well it performs and how well it does. And that creates this clear path forward for everyone else, which leads to the next advantage of competitions, the accelerated iteration. So because of the competition model and because of the nature of competitions, when one team has a breakthrough, that becomes the new baseline for everyone else, right? You have to go beyond that point in the next cycle just to be competitive. So that keeps scaling up the technology and the advancement year over year. So we're not just increasing, but because everyone needs to follow and grow beyond that, we're scaling up. And finally, the inspiration engine. So to keep a project like this running in the long run, we need to keep bringing in new people and new ideas. And as a public competition, this is a public platform that becomes a magnet to bring new talent, new ideas into the concept. We sort of become this focal point for this technological development to advance in the future. So The competition model is great for something with so many unknowns, and with the unknown timescale, it allows for the step-by-step advancement of these technologies and really allows us to see the best ideas and focus on those as they come up. But as an organization functioning right now, we ultimately don't know the timescale for the space elevator. And since we do exist right now, it's very important for us to make sure that the technologies that we're pushing have a dual focus. They can benefit the eventual space elevator and drive that forward, as well as also lead to advancement or drive technology that has advantages in many other use cases. We currently have two competitions. We have the climber competition, where teams build robotic climbers to go up and down vertical tethers while carrying a payload. This both advances robotics. It's a very unique test track and unique circumstance for using robots, as well as simulating the key function of the space elevator, and allows for more creative development or new ideas on the concept as a whole. And we're also launching the new power beaming competition, where teams would design systems to transmit power wirelessly over a short distance, with a focus on the efficiency to develop the technology a little bit further. This would help on situations like disaster relief zones or powering remote regions. And of course, the space elevator, which will have very strict mass limitations, so the less we can carry on it, the better. Our competitions are open to people from around the world, and this creates value for everyone. It creates a win-win ecosystem for everybody involved to really make sure that everybody can benefit from what we have. As a team, this becomes a place to launch your career. It becomes a place to get the real-world experience and the technical skills needed, as well as to be seen. This is a global platform. It's out there. You can develop companies off the spin-off technologies or be noticed in the space industry. As a university, this is a place to prove your research, to test it, a test bed on an international scale, international cross-border collaborations on this, driving progress forward together. And for sponsors, we are offering great brand alignment with the visibility of us constantly coming out with new developments and new technological advancement, as well as aligning with a forward-thinking brand that's pushing technology forward. And also access to the talent, access to this incredible talent that's proving themselves through the competitions. And finally, for the global community, for everyone else not in those categories, we are building a network, building a group of people that are inspired by STEAM and inspired to proactively push technology forward step by step with a larger end goal. And of course, everyone's welcome to that. The more diversity we have there, the better our decisions will be. Now, we aren't the first space elevator games. We're building on this history and experience of running these competitions already. From 2005 to 2009, they were held as part of NASA's Centennial Challenges, with a focus on material strength and power beaming technologies. From 2009 onward, they've been held by the JSEA in Japan as the spec competitions for student teams from around Japan to design, build, and test these robotic climbers. And then that pushed that over there. And that sort of functioned to the modern space elevator games. From 2011 onward, the VAR in Europe started hosting the competitions as the ISEC for the European market. And WSpec's role in all of this is we're uniting all these efforts, all this experience that we have through hosting the competitions on a regional scale and scaling this up. We're going to an international scale to allow for this technology to accelerate and push it forward at a larger scale. So to do this sustainably, in the long run, we know that we need to bring more value into our company by doing our operations than we consume to actually function. And that's going to be done by becoming a leader, becoming a noticeable brand, to allow for this to work. Our focus very much on growth and expansion, and becoming a voice in the technological advancement world. This year is our first year. This is our demonstration and foundation year. We've launched the organization, had some demonstration events, the initial outreach signing up those first teams and visionary sponsors that see this and the partners. We've had a table at the ISDC. We are co-hosting the spec competition in November in Japan. We've launched our socials, really just getting the organization started and getting out there. Year 2, which is 2026, it's our first full fiscal year. We're going to host the first international competitions. That's when we're going to go global. We're going to show what we're capable of, learn from the experiences, and continue expanding our reach to position ourselves as a leading platform for the future of development and education. And then years 3 and beyond will be continuous growth. We're going to keep expanding, increasing our prize money and grant money to attract more participation and allow for more diverse teams to join, as well as add new competition tracks, such as for different technologies that are needed, such as motor design or material strength, in-space teledeployment, technologies that are, again, have this dual application that we know we need for the space elevator, but need to begin this step-by-step advancement. All of it, and as well as increase our reach and our visibility, turn into add regional events, really grow the competitions as a whole, continuously moving us step by step closer to the space elevator, one step at a time. Now, our budget, very focused on our growth and expansion and allowing us to become an organization that can function on this scale. We exist as a nonprofit, so we are for the public, and it's very important that we're transparent about how we do things and what we do. Our budget for the fiscal year of 2026 is $610,000. Of that, the largest portion goes directly to the program delivery. It's about 50 cents on the dollar, goes to hosting the competitions, to the equipment, the prizes, everything that's needed to run the competitions. Around 34% is for our management and admin costs. That's the operational expenses, the personnel costs, legal expenses, everything required to run an organization properly of this scale. And then around 19% will be for our fundraising and outreach. That's our investment into the future. That's for our growth and our community building, our expansion, and how we plan to grow and be the scene. So this budget sets us up for success and allows us to expand over the coming years and start the ball rolling in this progression for us to move forward. We also have the perfect team to make this happen. We are a diverse team from around the world of members and volunteers from many different walks of life with unique perspectives and ideas, which allows and makes sure that the decisions that we come up with and the ideas that we have are as informed and as well worked out as possible. This includes myself as the CEO, Julian Songschwanzer, our Chief Operating Officer and previous chair of the VAR, Dr. Bradley Edwards, our Chief Technology Officer, who developed the modern space elevator concept for NASA, Shuichi Ono, our Chief Development Officer and current president of the JSEA, and Milena Serbanova, our digital and social media specialist who made this amazing presentation. We are a group of people from across many different time zones, speaking many different languages, and a continuously growing team of more members and volunteers, all aligned on this shared mission. We see the future and understand what it takes to build it, to accelerate the creation of the space elevator and allow for this step-by-step advancement of these technologies with that end goal in mind. We're looking for partners that are motivated to advance the future, people who see what it takes and understand what it is to build this future and to get us there. Join us in building the world's most ambitious engineering challenge. This is a great opportunity. As a student, it's a place to prove yourself and launch your career. As a university, you can apply your research in a truly global environment that's pushing technology forward. And as a brand, again, we're offering amazing brand recognition with this forward-thinking idea of a organization that will keep coming out with new breakthroughs and driving technology forward, as well as potentially access for this early scouting opportunity to this talent that's proving themselves in the field. Ultimately, the idea is we can't know when the breakthroughs for the space elevator will come, but we definitely know that we can continuously work on the issues and push more ideas to ultimately accelerate those breakthroughs to come as soon as possible. We're creating a reason for this step-by-step advancement and for this technology to advance. Join us and help us build this world. Thank you for listening. I can take a couple questions now, and then Alexander Joham, our Chief Marketing Officer, who was also a previous competitor in the competition, will give his perspective on being a team in the competitions and what that takes. I'll take any questions now.
Great. Thank you, Mordy. I can say that these guys stole the show at the exhibit tables at ISDC in Orlando, so they're becoming recognized. Questions? Mordy, did you want to mention your GoFundMe?
Yes, yes. So we do have a GoFundMe out. Again, like I said, it's a lot. This year's a lot of growth, a lot of our expansion and building who we are. So we do have a GoFundMe out you can check that out on our website, and it's wspec.org, or yeah, and that's over there. I mean, if there are no questions now, I think we could pass it on to Alexander Joam, and then afterward, maybe we could take questions on the whole organization together.